Have you ever wondered if there are things you're doing, things that seem harmless, that quietly push people away, even though they never tell you directly? As we grow older, we naturally develop habits. Some bring comfort and wisdom, but others, if left unchecked, can become blind spots in how we present ourselves to the world. You might think, I'm just being myself. But the truth is, those around you notice, though they may not have the heart to say anything. And these habits, if we're not careful, can slowly erode the dignity, respect, and precious relationships we've spent a lifetime building. Today, we're going to walk through 7 subtle habits like that. Things everyone sees but few dare to mention. Not to judge, not to criticize, but to gently hold up a mirror and ask ourselves, is this still serving me, or is it quietly creating distance? And the good news is, most of these habits can be changed. With just a little awareness, a few gentle adjustments, you can feel a difference, not just in how others see you, but in how you honor and appreciate yourself. So stay with me until the end of today's video, because sometimes even the smallest changes can breathe new life into your connections, your sense of respect, and the quiet joy you carry each day. Now let's begin. 1. Neglecting personal care. One of the first things others notice, but rarely mention, is when you start neglecting the care of your appearance. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Sometimes it's just a shirt worn 3 days without washing, hair left unbrushed, fingernails growing long and uneven, or a faint, unfamiliar scent that quietly follows you as you pass by. These little details might not be spoken aloud, but they are seen and they are felt. No one wants to hurt your feelings, so they may choose silence. They might sit a little farther away, shorten their visits, or hesitate before offering a warm embrace. But truly, it's not you they're stepping away from. It's the silent message you're unintentionally sending out. I've started to let go of myself. And here's something few people will tell you. When you stop caring for yourself, people around you unconsciously start treating you with a little less reverence than you truly deserve. Taking care of yourself doesn't mean being glamorous or extravagant. It can be as simple as a clean, neatly pressed shirt, hair gently brushed, fingernails trimmed, and the quiet confidence that says, I am still here, I still honor myself, and I honor you too. So if there ever comes a day when you feel tired or disheartened, remember, you don't take care of yourself just for others. You do it for you. Because with just a little daily self-care, you not only preserve your dignity, you quietly invite warmth, respect, and genuine affection from everyone around you. 2. Complaining about today's younger generation. Have you ever caught yourself sighing when watching young people? Ever shaken your head thinking, they don't know what hard work is? This generation is just too soft. If you have, you are not alone. That feeling, the quiet comparison between back then and now, is something every generation experiences. Our grandparents once said the same about our parents. Our parents once grumbled about us. But here's something we must remember. Every era brings its own unique struggles. The things you endured, war, hardship, long days of relentless work, have forged a deep strength within you. Today's younger generation is fighting their own battles. Battles with technology's dizzying speed, social instability, overwhelming mental pressures. They are not weaker. They are simply different. Different in how they communicate, different in what they value, different in their fears and dreams. And every time a complaint about them slips out, no matter how casually or gently, it quietly builds a wall that separates, a wall that makes them pull back, hesitate to engage in deep conversations with you. Not because they don't respect you, but because they feel unaccepted. Instead of judging, try asking, what struggles are they facing? Is there something I can learn from the way they live today? You might be surprised. Beneath the surface that may seem foreign or even frustrating, there are hearts searching for guidance, for understanding. Something you, with your wisdom and compassion, are uniquely able to offer. The world doesn't need more barriers. It needs more bridges. And you, more than anyone else, have the power to build those bridges simply by listening more and judging less. 3. Speaking without thoughtfulness. As we age, something subtle often happens. The filter that once helped us choose our words carefully can start to fade. You may feel you've lived long enough to no longer hold back. I've earned the right to speak my mind, you think, and in many ways that's true. But to those around you, especially the younger generations, your bluntness doesn't always feel like wisdom. Sometimes it feels like a sting, an offhand comment about someone's appearance, a casual remark about how they're raising their kids, a sweeping statement like, "Things were better in my day." Each of these can leave invisible bruises on relationships. They won't show it. They'll still smile. They'll still be polite. But inside, a quiet distance begins to grow. Fewer calls, shorter visits, conversations that feel just a little more careful, a little less free. Not because they don't love you, but because they're quietly shielding themselves from small wounds repeated over time. Honesty is never outdated, but honesty combined with kindness, empathy, and thoughtfulness, that's what truly strengthens relationships across generations. So before you speak, gently ask yourself, is this necessary? Is it kind? Will it bring warmth? Because words spoken with grace, with a listening heart, with space for others to be themselves, that is a priceless gift you can offer to anyone at any age. And you'll see, when you speak with patience and warmth, young people won't just listen, they'll seek you out, yearning for the steady wisdom and heartfelt kindness that only a soul seasoned by life can offer. 4. Complaining. Too much about health problems. No one denies that aging brings aches, doctor visits, and ever-lengthening prescriptions. It's a natural part of the human journey. But sometimes, without realizing it, talk of our health begins to dominate every conversation. You mention the nagging knee pain. You repeatedly bring up the upcoming surgery. You describe every medication, every symptom in detail. At first, people listen, they sympathize, they offer comfort. But over time, when the same stories are told again and again, conversations no longer feel like connections. They feel like burdens being passed along. And very naturally, people start to create distance. Not because they love you any less, but because they feel helpless, drained, unsure how to respond. You have every right to share your pain. You deserve to be understood. But when health becomes the center of every interaction, moments that could have been light and joyful turn heavy and somber. So what can you do? Be selective. Share your health updates briefly, then move on to other topics. Ask about others before diving into your own stories. Spend more time on uplifting subjects, a book you've read, a film you've enjoyed, a small moment that made you smile today. Your health is a part of your story, but it is not the whole story. You are still a wellspring of beautiful memories, unfinished dreams, and everyday joys. And that's what people long to connect with. Because you are not a list of medical conditions. You are a living, breathing soul, full of emotion, experience, and so much left to give. 5. Always believing you're right. This might be one of the most invisible traps that many people fall into with age, not out of stubbornness, but out of having lived through so much. Years of experience, hard-fought battles with life's challenges, lessons paid for dearly with time and sacrifice. It's easy to believe that you know better than anyone. You may have thought, I've lived more than 70 years. I know this is right. I've been through it all. Don't argue with me. Kids these days have no idea. But here's the painful truth. When you insist on always being right, even unintentionally, you make those around you feel small, unheard, and disconnected. Gradually, your children and grandchildren may stop sharing new ideas, avoid asking your opinion, fearing instant dismissal, close themselves off, knowing discussions will turn into battles over who's right. You might wonder, but I only want the best for them. Why does it turn out this way? Because what every generation craves most from each other is not victory, but understanding. When you fight to always be right, you unintentionally send the message. Your opinions don't matter. Your experiences are less valuable than mine. I have nothing left to learn from you. And the truth is, the truly wise are the ones who keep learning. Even at 80, even at 90, the strength of a seasoned soul is not in always being right, but in being willing to listen, to empathize, to say, I hadn't thought of it that way. Tell me more. When you listen with gentleness, without needing to agree with everything, but simply honoring the other person's voice, you will draw the hearts of the young closer to you, inspire future generations with your depth and kindness, and enrich your own world with fresh perspectives and newfound joys. You have traveled almost a century of life. Let these precious years be the time when you are loved, respected, and sought after. Not because you always have the right answers, but because you always keep an open heart. 6. Moving without awareness of those around you. When we were younger, moving swiftly and gracefully through crowds came almost naturally. But as we age, our steps slow, our reflexes are no longer as sharp, and sometimes, without realizing it, we take up more space, inconveniencing those around us. Maybe you stop suddenly in a narrow supermarket aisle, move slowly through busy walkways without noticing others, or stand in a doorway, fumbling with your bag, unintentionally blocking the path. You're not doing it out of rudeness. You're not trying to be inconsiderate. Often, you're simply focusing on maintaining your balance or attending to something else. But the truth is, people do notice. They won't say anything out of politeness, but inside they feel a little frustrated, and over time, that feeling can subtly shape how they interact with you. This doesn't mean you need to rush or move like the young. No one expects that. But maintaining awareness of shared spaces, of the flow of life around you, is a quiet, beautiful way to show respect for others. And it's also a way to preserve your own sense of confidence and belonging in the world. Simple actions like stepping aside when you pause, looking around before changing direction, yielding space when someone seems in a hurry, or even just offering a warm smile and a soft apology if you accidentally block the way, all send a powerful silent message. I'm still part of this world. I still care about the rhythm of life around me. And in doing so, you don't just earn others' respect, you embody a kind of invisible grace, the beauty of someone who continues to move, to listen, and to flow with life, no matter how much time passes. 7. Clinging to outdated beliefs. There are values and beliefs that have traveled with you for a lifetime. They once served you well, carried you through challenges, gave you strength, and it's easy to think, if they were right then, they must still be right now. But times have changed, society has evolved, and sometimes clinging too tightly to old ways doesn't make us stronger. It only isolates us from a world that keeps moving forward. You might catch yourself thinking, we didn't need phones or social media to survive back then. Men were supposed to do this. Women were supposed to do that. Young people today are weak compared to our generation. These thoughts often come from sincere experience. But when expressed rigidly, or when we continuously compare the past to the present with a critical tone, we unintentionally distance ourselves from younger generations. And more painfully, we chip away at the beautiful image we've spent a lifetime building. People do not pull away because you are getting older. They pull away because you no longer seem willing to listen, to understand a world that is different from the one you knew. Opening your heart doesn't mean abandoning the values you hold dear. It simply means making space for new ways of being, acknowledging that progress often hides in the places we once doubted. Sometimes the advancements we resist hold opportunities we never imagined. When you can smile and say, "Tell me more about that," instead of, "I've seen it all," I don't need to hear more. You unlock something beautiful. A deeper bond with your children and grandchildren, a renewed sense of friendship, and most importantly, a vibrant, growing connection with your own soul. You don't have to give up the treasured memories of yesterday. You simply need to make room for today's new chapters to be written alongside them. And that is the truest sign of a spirit that is wise, alive, and forever young. We've just walked through 7 silent habits that, without our realizing, can quietly influence how others perceive and feel about us as we age. Maybe some of them surprised you. Maybe some felt like looking into a mirror. But remember, recognizing these habits isn't about self-blame. It's about giving yourself a new chance. A chance to keep growing, keep connecting, and keep radiating your beautiful worth into the world. Thank you for staying with me until these very last words. If today's reflections touch your heart, please leave a comment below. Let's connect and share this journey together. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another heartfelt video from Advice for Seniors, where we honor the grace, wisdom, and beauty in every chapter of life. See you again in the next video. And always remember, you are valued, you are strong, and you are never, ever alone.